Morning students, in the last class we have discussed how to calculate the state transition matrix by means of your Laplace transformation method, similarity transformation method, Clay-Hamilton method and power series method. In this class we will be dealing with obtaining the complete time response of the system. Take down this problem. Obtain the complete time response of the system given by x dot of t is equal to ax of t and the initial condition is given. Why? Because we have to assume because we need to consider the initial condition is because it is a state variable approach. If it is a transfer function approach, we can blindly consider the initial condition to be 0, and also they have given y of t is equal to so and so. So looking at this particular equation, here we have only x dot of t is equal to ax of t. You could see this particular equation what they had given in the problem. So when you look at this problem, the term u of t is absent, that is u of t is equal to 0. So from this it is understood the given problem is homogeneous. So when it is a homogeneous equation, the complete time response includes only 0 input response. Okay. First you need to see your state equation. So looking at the state equation, it is very clear that u of t is 0. You need to obtain the complete time response of the system. Since in this u of t is equal to 0, then this particular problem goes on with homogeneous equation. So in case of your homogeneous equation, the complete time response deals only with your 0 input response. This is how you need to identify what type of response we need to identify for a particular problem. And y of t is equal to c into x of t. Now you have to obtain 0 input response. The formula to obtain your 0 input response is e to the power of at into x of 0. It is the formula. The formula to obtain your 0 input response is e to the power of at into x of 0. We all know what is meant by e to the power of at. E to the power of at is nothing but state transition matrix. The state transition matrix can be identified by 4 methods. One is your Laplace transformation method. Second one is your Clay-Hamilton method. Third one, similarity transformation method. And the last one is your power series method. So there are 4 methods of identifying your state transition matrix. This one we can identify with a simple method, that is Laplace transformation method. If you want to identify your state transition matrix by means of your Laplace transformation method, you can use Laplace inverse of Si minus A inverse. Okay, you all know how to identify your Si minus A inverse. S is a factor, I is going to be your identity matrix and A is going to be your matrix. That is given in the problem. So it is the equation, it is the matrix obtained for Si minus A. Now Si minus A inverse formula is adjoint of Si minus A divided by determinant value of Si minus A. You all know how to identify your adjoint of Si minus A. Adjoint of Si minus A is cofactor matrix of Si minus A. Transpose of this will become a Si minus A inverse. So adjoint of Si minus A is equal to, we have got the cofactor matrix transpose is S1 minus 2 S. Then determinant value can also be identified, and the value obtained is going to be S square plus 2. So we all know how to identify the determinant value, right? So it is S square minus 2, it is going to be 2. So we will be getting S square plus 2 as your determinant value. Then you have to substitute e to the power of at is Laplace inverse of Si minus A. The Laplace inverse of Si minus A is going to be S divided by S square plus 2, 1 divided by S square plus 2. Here also you have to use a term like S divided by S square plus 2, it is there, right? You can write this S square plus 2 as S square plus root 2 the whole square. So when you write you will get this. So when you write, you will get Laplace inverse of s divided by s square plus root 2 the whole square. Same thing, 1 divided by s square plus root 2 the whole square. Here also you can write minus 2 divided by s square plus root 2 the whole square. S divided by s square plus 2. So like this you will be writing. We know the formula 1 divided by s square plus omega square is going to be cos omega t. That is Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s square plus omega square is going to be cos omega t. Suppose if you are writing it as the formula to identify your Laplace inverse. Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s square plus omega square is equal to cos omega t. It's the formula. Same thing if you have Laplace inverse of omega divided by s square. Omega divided by s square plus omega square means you will get sin omega t. So these two formula. Previously we have seen two formulas, that is Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s plus a means it is going to be e to the power of minus at. If you have here plus, when you write as e to the power of at, here you should use minus. One more formula is Laplace inverse of 1 divided by s minus a is equal to e to the power of plus at. And the other two formula with respect to your trigonometric function is Laplace inverse of 1 by s square plus omega square is going to be cos omega t. And one more is Laplace inverse of omega divided by s square plus omega square is going to be sin omega t. So these two formula you are not supposed to forget it. So when doing so, you will be getting an answer e to the power of at as so and so matrix. Now we need to obtain your zero input response. The formula to obtain a zero input response is e to the power of at into x of 0. We have identified what is our e to the power of at, and also in the given problem they had very clearly given what is your x of 0. So when you multiply these two matrix, you will be getting a response x of t is equal to so and so matrices. And output response can be identified as minus 1 x of t. You know what is your x of t. So that one you can substitute over here to identify your output response. This is how you need to identify your complete time response of the system with respect to your homogeneous equation. Now one more problem I'll show. In that you people identify whether that problem belongs to homogeneous or non-homogeneous. Consider this problem. Find out the complete time response of unit step input for the system given by x dot of t is equal to a x of t plus b u of t. Y of t is equal to c x of t, and the initial condition is also given over here. As the problem has the term called u, so it is non-homogeneous equation. So in non-homogeneous equation, if you want to identify the complete time response of the system, it comprises of zero input response plus zero state response. So the formula to identify your zero input response is very clear. So zero input response, the formula is e to the power of at into x of 0. It is the formula to identify your zero input response. And e power at can be identified by any one of the methods like Laplace transformation method, Clay-Hamilton method, power series method, or similarity transformation method. In this method we can use the Laplace transformation. So I will be getting Laplace inverse of si minus a inverse. Okay. Now after substituting, you will get e to the power of at as so on. So it is your phi of s term, and e power at is Laplace inverse of si minus a. When doing so, you got the zero input response as e power at into x of 0. That is initial condition. You are getting this matrix. Now one more term also you should identify, that is your zero state response. The formula to identify your zero state response is Laplace inverse of phi of s b into u of s. So the formula to identify your zero input response is e to the power of at into x of 0, and this can be e to the power of at is nothing but your state transition matrix, and it can be identified by any one of the methods like Laplace transformation method, power series method, Clay-Hamilton method, and similarity transformation method. According to us, the Laplace transformation method is going to be very simple when you are going to do such type of obtaining the time response of the system problems. Now zero state response formula is going to be zero state response. The formula to obtain your zero state response is Laplace inverse of phi of s b u of s. So here what is your phi of s? Phi of s is nothing but si minus a. It is your phi of s. Okay. Now what is your b? B is your matrix, and u is nothing but your unit step input. Unit step input they had given u of t as 1. Therefore, what is your u of s? U of s is going to be 1 by s. That is, when you convert your time domain to s domain, it is a unit step input. As it is given as a unit step input, u of t is going to be 1 and u of s is going to be 1 by s. That is by taking your Laplace transform. Therefore, zero state response is equal to Laplace inverse of phi of s. What is your phi of s obtained in the same for the same problem? Phi of s obtained is going to be si minus a inverse. Phi of s is going to be si minus a inverse. So we will be using this matrix in the formula given over here. So in this you are going to use. So it is nothing but your phi of s, which is nothing but si minus a inverse. Okay. Next one, B matrix given in the problem and unit step input. What is the unit step input? It is going to be 1 divided by s. Taking Laplace inverse for this particular matrix, we will be getting 2.5 minus 5 e to the power of minus t plus 2.5 e to the power of minus t. How we are going to solve the first? We are going to solve this particular first step as a divided by s plus b by s plus 1 plus c divided by s plus 2 is equal to 5 divided by s into s plus 1 into s plus 2. By using partial fraction method, if you solve, you will be obtaining a value as 2.5, b value as minus 5 and c value as 2.5. Same thing for this particular element. If you are reducing it using a partial fraction method, you will be writing a divided by s plus 1 plus b divided by s plus 2 is equal to 5 divided by s plus 1 into s plus 2. When you solve by using a partial fraction method, the value of a and b obtained is 5 by s plus 1. That is, the value of a obtained is 5 and the value of b obtained is going to be minus 5. And when you take a Laplace inverse, you will be getting this particular equation. The complete time response for this system comprises of both your zero input response as well as your zero state response, and already we have identified what is our zero input response, and now we have identified what is our zero state response. When you add both, you will be getting the complete time response of the system as zero input response and zero state response. And y of t is going to be so and so equation. Okay. Here what is your x of t? Your x of t is going to be this one. So when you substitute this x of t in this particular place and when you multiply with this matrix, you will be getting two outputs, that is y1 of t and y2 of t. y1 of t is going to be your first output which represents your first element in the matrix, and y2 of t represents the second element as shown over here. This is how you need to obtain your complete time response of the system. So you people can solve. The notes has been attached to the Google Classroom and even the videos has been posted in your YouTube. You can kindly go through the notes and the videos to solve some more problems. Thank you students.